What made you fall for someone you barely spoke to in class? I'm sitting in the back of our history class on the last day of senior year, and the quiet girl who sits 3 rows ahead of me turns around and hands me a folded piece of paper. And when I open it, there's a full letter saying she's been in love with me since September and she's moving across the country tomorrow and needed me to know. And I'm frozen because we've literally never had a real conversation and now my brain is exploding. The thing is, I noticed her on the first day of school because she had this book I'd been trying to find for months sticking out of her backpack, and I almost said something but chickened out, and then I noticed she always sat in the same seat and drank the same tea every morning, and she'd bite her pen when she was thinking, and I realized I'd been watching her for 9 months like some kind of creep without ever working up the courage to say hi. I remember in October when she gave this presentation about the French Revolution, and she talked about it like she was telling a story, not just reciting facts, and her whole face lit up when she got to the part about the Women's March on Versailles, and I thought to myself, this is the most interesting person I've ever seen, and after class I walked right up to her and then panicked and asked if I could borrow her notes instead of asking her out. Now she's standing there waiting for me to say something, and the bell rings and everyone's leaving, and I'm reading her letter that says she noticed me noticing her, and she almost talked to me 100 times but was too scared, and she thinks maybe we were both too afraid to risk ruining whatever perfect version of each other we built in our heads. I look up and she's walking toward the door, and I finally find my voice and say, wait. And she turns around with tears in her eyes, and I tell her, I've been watching you all year too, I just didn't know how to start. And she laughs this sad, beautiful laugh and says, we wasted so much time being scared. We exchange numbers right there in the empty classroom, and she tells me she doesn't leave until tomorrow night, and we spend the next 24 hours talking nonstop, learning everything about each other that we should have learned months ago. And when I drop her off at the airport, we promise to try long distance even though it's terrifying. And I realize that sometimes you fall for someone not because of the conversations you have, but because of all the things you notice in silence, and fear of rejection can make you miss out on something amazing. And I almost let the best person I never talked to walk out of my life forever.